Hey guys, what's going on? It's 30 books in 30 weeks, and I have, again, you know what? Like, I'm gonna have to do better because I'm tired of apologizing. I really try hard not to do stuff that I have to apologize for, but I have been um, really, truly just in the lab preparing. I told you guys, I shared with you a few days ago, a big opportunity that has presented itself, and so I have been deep in the lab, um, creating and doing some other things in preparation. So I apologize. 30 books in 30 weeks has been sporadic for the last 2 weeks. So this week, I promise you, I'm back on track because, for one, I am talking about one of my favorite books in the entire world, Peace from Broken Pieces, from a woman who I admire tremendously, Iyanla Vanzant. Hey, Terry. Um, I consider a lot of her teachings mentorship in many ways, and this book in particular helped me tremendously after domestic violence. It's called Peace from Broken Pieces. So as you guys come in, I'm not going to be on here a long time this morning, but or this afternoon, but I did want to introduce this week's book, Peace from Broken Pieces by Iyanla Vanzant. So as you guys come in, welcome other people on with us, invite some other people into the conversation. We're going to talk about truth and deception today. And like I said, introduce this week's book. We're on week 21, I believe, of our 30 books in 30 weeks. So we are on the downhill slide for our 30 weeks, day 152, if I counted correctly. And it's just been an amazing, I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's been an amazing first 5.5 months of 2018. And I walked into this year and I said, this year is going to be my best year ever. And when we kicked off Raising the Bar 60-day laser coaching at the beginning of the year, that's what the ladies signed up for. That's what I committed to, and that is what has been manifesting in the lives of for myself and for my clients. And so this is tremendous. It's really tremendous. So for those of you who may be coming in for the very first time, you don't know who I am or what this is all about, my name is Marcy Batiste. I'm America's #1 reality-based success and recovery trainer. I'm sold out to my happiness. I live life on Mars. I operate from my own rules. And I love just being able to help other women shine, for them to discover and embrace their star power. What's going on, Hassan? Hey, Thomas. And so what's going on, David? And you know, I firmly believe that in much of my teaching, the reality-based portion of it is that personal foundation, you build everything on your personal foundation, right? And your personal foundation, it comes from your past experiences. It comes from what people have poured into you, what belief systems you have. And if that personal foundation is shaky, if it's rocky, but you're trying to build a family on it, you're trying to build a career on it, you're trying to build a life on it, you're trying to build happiness on it, and it's faltered, it's got cracks in that foundation. If that personal foundation is not sound and stable, everything you build on is going to crumble, baby. Everything you build on is going to crumble. And so really what's up, Hassan? I missed you. We got to catch up. Hey, Steven. But if you don't stabilize that personal foundation, and so when I work with women, especially women, I tell them, you have to shore up that personal foundation, boo-boo. You got to get it together. You got to get your house in order, because everything that you're building on it, and I'm sorry, women are the bedrock of the world. Like, everything relies, you end up in a psychiatrist's office and you're 50 years old, guess what? They're going to say it's because of your mama. So I'm going to need the mamas to get it together. And so that's much of the work that I do, is really shoring up that personal foundation. It's helping them, understanding that your personal foundation supports your professional position. So everything that you try and accomplish relies on and counts on that personal foundation being strong. Peace from broken pieces, you got to build it. You got to build it, because yeah, you got some broken pieces along the way. I know that for a fact. I've been there, done that. Hey, John, what's going on, Stephen? I understand that, but it doesn't have to stay that way. And that's one of the things that I loved about this book, was when I was recovering from domestic violence, it showed me that it's all part of the process. It's all part of the process. And so today's message is the truth about deception. And so I want to talk about how many times we get hung up because somebody deceived us. Somebody lied to us. We feel betrayed by that. We feel like we can no longer trust because of that. And so we build, so when we talk about that personal foundation being built on trust, loyalty, understanding, compromise, all of these things that are building this, when someone lies to you, it cuts that personal foundation. It puts a canyon-sized crack in the foundation of your heart, of sometimes your life. If you're married, it puts a canyon in the marriage. And so there's all of this stuff that comes from the deception. And that's what I want people to understand. Much of the time, and this is the truth about it, much of the time, what hurts is not the act. It's not what you said. It's not what you did. It's the fact that you deceived the other person. So it's not your behavior that is the biggest problem. It's your deception and your ability to stand in your own truth. So if you do something, own it. If you make a choice, own it. If you hurt someone, own that. But certainly don't try and turn that around and blame the other person and be like, oh, well, I did X, Y, and Z because of you. No, you did X, Y, and Z because that's what you wanted to do. Own that. Own that, because it's the deception. It's the fact that someone expected for you to be honest. They trusted that you were going to be upfront and forthcoming. And so in a lot of cases, and especially in personal relationships, and we're talking about that personal foundation, right? In those personal relationships, if you've bared all to someone and you've left yourself completely wide open, 100% vulnerable, all your barriers are down, all your guards are down, you've put your abilities to trust, you've tried to resurrect that, because a lot of times many of us come into relationships with trust issues. That's a problem. You need to resolve the trust issue before you try and re-enter into a relationship. That's another conversation for a whole other day. But we enter into these relationships and we think, I'm going to give this trust freely. I'm going to give this a chance, is what we say. I'm going to give them the opportunity, is what we say. And then they mess up. That's what happens. People mess up because we're people. So we make choices that hurt people. We make choices that aren't necessarily the best for ourselves or for those people that we care about. Hey, Leo. And then that trust is broken. There's some form of deception there. The other person perceives that they have been deceived by you, and the pain comes from the deception. It's not the act. Hey, Gillette, it's not the act that is as hurtful as the deception is. So let me give you an example. If someone says, so I had a situation where I had someone who was in my inner circle. I had money come up missing. I was pissed. Let's be real. I was pissed about it. But I couldn't say for 150% sure that this person is the person who took my money. But I was pissed. I wasn't pissed so much that the money was gone. I was pissed because they betrayed me. I was pissed because they betrayed my trust. Someone that I had extended and allowed into my inner circle. Hey, Daryl, I've allowed them into my inner circle. I have money coming up missing. There's only a couple people been around, both people, because if you are in my home, you're a part of my inner circle. So if I let into my home and then I have something come up missing from my home, I'm pissed. Versus if that person came to me and says, you know what, I did something I shouldn't have done. I took $100. I really needed it for X, Y, and Z. I'm sorry. I'll pay you back as soon as I can. Versus you take my money, you don't say nothing, and now I'm looking side-eyed at a couple different people. So now you've potentially compromised other relationships for people who didn't do anything. But like I said, I couldn't say 150%. Sure, you did it. Now you've just made the problem bigger. So it wasn't the act of taking the money that's the problem. It's not even the fact that money is gone that is necessarily the problem. It's a problem, but it's not the biggest of all problems. The biggest of all problems is the fact that you deceived me, you lied to me, you betrayed my trust, and you compromised other important relationships to me because you wouldn't be honest. That's the truth about deception. That's what hurts. That's what hurts. So peace from broken pieces means you taking back control of all of your personal situations. It means reshoring that personal foundation. It means laying down some what do they call it when they build a foundation? They put that layer of sand down, and it levels the ground. So you got to level the playing field first of all before you can start rebuilding. But a lot of times what we do is we take the broken foundation. Y'all remember back in the day when your couch would break and your grandmama would put a brick up under there to hold the couch up? And then every time somebody will plop on it, they will forget there's a brick under there, and then the end of the couch, maybe that was just my house, I don't know. But that's what would happen. Because you tried to shore up a foundation with something that was just as unstable as the foundation was to begin with. That's not going to work. You got to start over. You got to grate the land, lay that new foundation, and then begin building on something that's even, something that's level. Something that can offer stability to the things that you're going to build on top of that. So before I build a relationship, before I try and build a life and a career or a business on this foundation, I got to make sure I'm rock solid. I got to make sure of that. So that's what we're going to talk about this week. We're going to talk about how you find peace from the broken pieces in the midst of all the pain. How do you find peace? How do you recover? How do you conquer, as Iyanla says, how to get through what you're going through? Because you know what? You're going to get through it, I promise you. And there's an easier way to do it and there's a hard way to do it. Which one you want to take? That's what we're going to talk about this week. So Peace from Broken Pieces is our week in 30 books for 30 weeks. Remember, guys, if you're talking to someone, you're building relationships, you're shoring up foundations, it's not the act that's the problem, it's the honesty. You have to be honest and own your shit. If you make a mistake, say I made a mistake, I messed up, I effed up, whatever you want to call it, but you got to own that. But don't try and deceive people and play them for stupid. That's what pisses people off. That's the truth about deception. It's that betrayal that hurts so bad. It's that piece that jeopardizes the relationship long term. People can come back from a whole lot of stuff if you just own your stuff. All right, that's the word for today. Thanks for living life on Mars, y'all. And make sure you go check out the new business page, Ultimate Power Coaching. Check that out. And then also the link for my YouTube, if y'all missed any of the 30 books in 30 weeks, is in the comments. Peace out. Thanks for living life on Mars, y'all.